What pulled you into the world of SEO, CRO, and web design?
So I first started off as an artist. That was from the time I was a little kid. I used to do a lot of illustrations, drawing, painting, and then I went and did computer science professionally. And then I realized that at the end of the day, I had the core skills and fundamentals of developing something good that looks good,
Mhm.
functions great. But then I realized that people are not finding these tools or they are not discoverable. So I found myself going into SEO to make them discoverable now on search engines. But then when people have discovered them, not many of them are converting into clients. And that's now where the CRO comes in, which is conversion rate optimization. So it's a combination of so many things that have happened over the course of my life, and they've all played a part in making me who I am today.
What belief has most shaped the way you work?
I believe that design is not just about looking pretty,
Mhm.
it needs to serve a purpose. And on the side of web design, CRO, and SEO, serving a purpose means having a strategy, a sales funnel that eventually grows a business and helps them generate more revenue from the internet.
And how has being an artist influenced your approach to web design and digital strategy?
I view art as problem solving.
Mhm.
You know, when you ask me to do a sketch of you or a portrait,
Mhm.
I'm not going to draw you exactly as you are because, of course, there are so many complexities like in the hair and everything.
Mhm.
But I'll solve the problem and be able to interpret that into my own style of art. And I take that same approach into everything that I do. It's all about solving a problem and doing it in a way that's going to be relevant to the person that I'm solving it for. So on the side of web design, solving the problem would mean mapping out the customer journey, understanding their pain points, the friction points, and solving the problem for them or making it easy for them to find a solution from your business website.
Mhm.
And that eventually leads to good design. And it's all just about being keen, understanding the pain points of somebody, and going about solving the problem.
Does design has to be aesthetic and good looking for it to solve the customer's problem?
It does, but it also doesn't. It
Mhm.
depends. You don't want to overdo anything.
Mhm.
Of course, it's good for people to see something that's visually appealing
Mhm.
because first impressions matter.
Mhm.
I do know of several websites that are generating a lot of revenue, but they're ugly websites, and I think you might know some of them. Like the directory website Craigslist.
Mhm.
It's very popular in so many locations. I know they even have a domain,
Mhm.
subdomain for Kenya.
Mhm.
This is a website that generates as much as $600 million in revenue, which is, I think I'd say roughly 65 billion shillings annually.
Mhm.
But it's a very ugly website. Now, those are an exception. And I think there is a purpose to it because of all the data they're handling. But in the common context, what you want is something that's going to appeal to the person you're building it for. There are people who like a simpler design. There are people who would like something more complicated. There are people who would appreciate muted colors or pastel colors. There are people who would like more vibrant, bold colors. It just depends what the context is. If you're doing a website for a gym, for example,
Mhm.
you could choose colors like yellow and black or red and black
Mhm.
or green and black. These are vibrant colors. These are very bold in your face because that's the message you're trying to portray. But if you're running a cosmetics
Mhm.
business and you want a website where people can maybe schedule consultations with a dermatologist or you want to purchase products, it doesn't make sense to have such aggressive colors. So it's all about serving a purpose. And before we even consider the aesthetics,
Mhm.
we always want to understand who the clients are from the beginning, what their problems are, and then that's how we establish what they'll want to see and how best can we achieve that.
What do most people get wrong about good looking design?
With a lot of people, they tend to focus on aesthetics, good looking designs,
Mhm.
but they forget that people are supposed to take an action. A good website is not just a flyer or a business card. This is a shop for you.
Mhm.
You need people to be taking actions on it. So you want to have headlines that are going to resonate. You want to have storytelling that's going to get people emotionally invested in your brand
Mhm.
and your message. You want to inspire people to take action using call to action buttons. So that can be something like booking a consultation, requesting a callback, requesting a quote, and so on and so forth. That depends on whatever your business model is and what services you're provided.
And does every business have to have a website?
Unfortunately, no.
Mhm.
Today on the internet, we have more than 1.1 billion websites.
Mhm.
And the one thing that they all have in common, or
Mhm.
most of them have in common, is that they're not generating any revenue. And in my honest opinion, and I like to be very truthful with all my clients
Mhm.
during our discovery calls, is that if you don't have the budget for a website,
Mhm.
I wouldn't recommend that you get one. I think you should focus your efforts on what's going to get you to the level where you'll finally have a budget to build a website
Mhm.
and maintain it. Because a website is an asset.
Mhm.
And like many assets, you need some sort of input for you to start reaping the rewards from it. And it needs to be self sustainable. So if you're running a business and you're not generating sufficient cash flow, uh, I wouldn't recommend you to get a website.
So, as a business person,
Yeah.
is budget the only thing that I should consider if I'm looking to start a website?
Budget is very important,
Uh-huh.
but the key thing is you need to consider your business model because the first thing you want to understand is the problems you're solving for your clients. Those are going to be the core of your website, even before you get to the budget. But you should consider the budget because the budget is going to determine whether or not, first of all, we can work with you
Mhm.
and whether or not your website is going to be able to give you the results that you're looking for. It's good to consider the budget, but not just the budget. You want to consider your business, your funnels.
Mhm.
You want to be able to make a sale, and you need to understand why people should purchase from you. Why should they trust you? All those are core to making the website work because with us, we develop a strategy, not just a website. And the strategy is more important. It comes first.